NIO with 4,200 insurance registrations. That's for the week of September 9th through the 15th. But I'll tell you what I'm thinking about, and that's this right here. It's the monthly delivery numbers for NIO. They're probably going to come in with another 20,000 deliveries of the NIO brand. That's the premium brand. And that means it'll be 5 months in a row with 20,000 or better vehicles. Now, I was kind of curious. So I dug into the history of Tesla because I was just wondering, NIO is 10 years old. And I thought, well, where was Tesla with their deliveries 10 years in? And that would have been 2013. So I pulled up this data, and it's admittedly, you can't do a clean comparison, but I was just curious. And so I pulled this up, and Tesla in the entire year, their 10th year, they did over 20,000 deliveries. NIO is doing that back to back to back to back months. That may be the new baseline for the company. And just in these, 5 months, over 100,000 deliveries for NIO. That's basically, look, it's not fair to make a straight up comparison because of the time frames and different stages of the market. But I wanted to point this out. Here's also what I'm thinking. This is NIO with its premium brand. These are the companies that NIO is targeting with its NIO brand. And we see here on the weekly numbers, you've still got over 10,000 of each for Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Audi, which tells me there are still 20 to maybe 25,000 sales potentially going somewhere else in the future, because BMW is the only one that's doing any real EV sales in China out of these three companies. And in the future, they will all these premium sales will be going to an NEV company. NIO is positioned as the early leader. But now let's talk about the sub-brand, because this is the recent launch. We did get the price release for the L60. Onvo is the first sub-brand that NIO is coming out with. That is the one that's focused on Tesla. And I'm so curious. In fact, hold that thought. I'll come back to it in just a second. So I wanted to share, and there's no way I could share all the great people covering NIO. And a lot of them apparently were at this event and the launch of Onvo. But this is Matt EV saying basically, why do you want a Model Y when you can have this? Again, with battery as a service, that's what I was wondering what we would see for a price point. $21,000. I'm just thinking about this. I'm in the US and I'm thinking about this. Will over with China Driven talking about it with BaaS, $21,000. We don't have the opportunity here in the United States to buy a vehicle this nice for that price, brand new. We don't have options like this. So in the future, I guess my question and thought process is, when will we see that? Jason Yu with a couple of posts. This is interesting right here. William Lee said Onvo production will get a major boost in January 2025, and monthly deliveries are expected to reach, if not exceed, 20,000 units. Again, if this is the sub-brand and kind of the vehicle is going to be the L60 that's targeting Tesla, if NIO within 6 months can get to what it took Tesla 10 years to do, and then NIO also is selling its premium brand, I'm just really curious how this goes. And so let me keep it moving because there's just a lot to unpack, and I wanted to share as much as I could. T Defee, what's up? Another post on Onvo. Again, this is the buzz in China. Jay in Shanghai. This is where I said I want to hit pause just a minute ago. I was like, we'll come back to this. I want to know what Jay in Shanghai thinks about Onvo. I would love his take. I know he's a huge Tesla fan, loves his Tesla, and I would really like his take on this. What's his kind of comparison, Onvo versus Tesla? I really love learning from other people and getting other people's perspectives. And so, Jay, I hope you offer your thoughts. I'll be checking your Twixter to see if you're talking about it. Also, NIO Admirer says, William Lee is quoted as saying, Onvo L60 was successfully launched. Orders exploded. Tomorrow, test drives will be available in stores nationwide tomorrow at 8 p.m. And now let's talk about NIO stock and the price action and what may be going on in the short term. Here's kind of what I'm wondering. I'm going to zoom this thing out so we can look at the full history of NIO stock, including the fails to deliver. Now, the fails to deliver are depicted by the white lines. That's when there could have been naked shorting or price suppression of the stock going on, possibly illegally, possibly illicitly, whatever. I'm just like, I want to have an awareness if that could have been going on. And what I think makes it kind of clear, if I remove the price, which is the yellow, then you'll see just one time frame in the whole history of NIO stock where the fails to deliver, the white lines really dropped off. Now, two things were going on during that time frame. One was bigger trade volume for NIO on the daily, like average. I think I would see 80, 100 million shares or more traded on kind of a daily basis on an average. And so here we are, and this is your date and timestamp. It is Thursday, September 19th. It's about 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time as I record this, and we have over 70 million shares traded of NIO stock. This is one of the indicators that I have on the ticker, the trade volume. For the short term and stock price, whether it's NIO or something else, I watch the trade volume. I also track the FTDs. Here's the big indicator for me, and this is why I started to say and then interrupted my own thought, because that's what I do. This is the spiking of the fails to deliver of over 5 million and over 6 million shares in a single day that couldn't be located. We hadn't seen those levels unless we go all the way back to January of 2020. And that was before NIO stock made its meteoric rise. So is that ahead? I think maybe the better question is, will we see that aggressive of a move when it happens? Or is it going to be more of a sustained, slower build up? I do think this 3-year downtrend and having such a long period of consolidation with the company coming in line and with its fundamentals only getting better, it's a really compelling, even on the short-term time frame, for the stock price to kind of track and watch. But I do think sentiment matters. And so, for example, on a day when I saw Tesla trending on Twixter, but I have not seen NIO or Onvo trending in the last week or more. And so I'm just kind of like, all right, at what point is there gamesmanship? Maybe nothing. Maybe just a lot of people aren't interested or aren't really aware of NIO and Onvo and what's going on. I'm super curious, and I'm also tracking and watching Alibaba. I didn't have that queued up for this video because there was just too much else that I wanted to share. So I'll come back in another video, probably over the weekend, and talk about NIO and Alibaba. That allows us to also get the full trade week behind us. And if there was a Fed pump, let's say, with the markets, then maybe that has time to wear off. And we'll see where trade volume is. We'll look at the FTDs, recent, maybe a longer term history for both NIO and Alibaba. The reason I want to also keep an eye on Alibaba is I think that if we see big money from Wall Street flow back into Chinese stocks, I do think we'll be able to see that in Alibaba. But I don't just want to base this on one day or a couple of days. I want to keep tracking it. So again, I'll come back with that content and probably do a video over the weekend. I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? Do you think we are at this kind of a level with the stock price? Do you think we'll see something like this again based on what these fails to deliver are showing us? Do you think maybe we're closer to here and maybe we're going to see blast off? Or maybe this stuff will continue for a longer period of time and maybe there will be more consolidation at some other level? Or do you have a completely different thought? I want to hear from other people on this because I really enjoy the dialogue, whether it's the comment section or people throughout the community. I appreciate everyone. The global community for NIO is awesome. It's the #1 reason that I continue to do content and kind of share some of my research and nerding out, as I like to call it. But thanks for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you all again very soon.